You're watching Force 13's live streaming service.
Meteorology here in Queensland has updated the flood watch information for the foreseeable future. We will be on the automated streaming mode, and we're keeping a close eye on the tropical scene. However, it's currently raining again, lightly at my HQ, Brisbane region, even though some impressive rainfall totals have been recorded. There was one location, could be others, that received over 350 millimetres in less than 24 hours. And this weather event is likely to see a month's rain in a couple of days. Heavy rainfall this afternoon and overnight may again cause localised flooding. River level rises above the minor flood level. Showers and thunderstorms also expected to continue over the southeast Queensland during this afternoon and particularly overnight. The Bureau of Meteorology earlier today issued a severe thunderstorm warning for the southeastern suburbs of Brisbane, including Brisbane City. It has been quite a few years since I've actually seen a storm cell track in from the northeast, and I could go back probably prior to when Tropical Cyclone Debbie impacted the region as a deep low. My HQ actually had Category 1 cyclonic winds, and it's not very often that we actually see storm cells tracking in from the east or even the northeast. I do remember occasions when cells have actually tracked west from east onto the Gold Coast. However, showers of thunderstorms expected to continue over the southeast Queensland, as mentioned, this afternoon and overnight, with heavy falls possible. Catchments in the floodwatch area have received rainfall in the past 24 hours and will respond quickly to further rainfall. Minor flooding is also possible, particularly in areas where small rises have already been observed. Localised flooding is occurring, causing minor disruption to transport routes across the floodwatch area, and the area is to the north of Brisbane. The Pine and Caboolture rivers, the upper and lower Brisbane rivers or river, Logan and Albert rivers, that's to the south of Brisbane, and including the Gold Coast rivers and creeks. The Water Authority earlier this week opened or started to release water at the Little Nerang Dam, which is on the northern end of the Gold Coast. And flooding is no longer expected in the following catchments: Condamine River, the McIntyre River, the Weir River, Mooney River, Ballon, River, Warram and Mungallada Creeks, the Warrego River and the Border River. Minor flooding continues in the Paru River, and that goes down into New South Wales. And it's also a related warning by the New South Wales Office of the Bureau of Meteorology. We also have a major flood warning for the lower Flinders Reef, flood warning for the Leichhardt, Cloncurry, Norman rivers. And the Bureau did issue a flood warning for the Bowen and Sherwell rivers. That's in the Maryborough region, just to the west of Fraser Island. And that's now been cancelled. Minor flooding for the lower Mary River. Minor flooding is expected in the lower Mary River at Maryborough on the high tide this afternoon. Up to 250 millimetres of rain has been recorded across the lower Mary River in the past 36 hours. Further showers and thunderstorms expected during Thursday, but heavier falls are now less likely. Mary River to Gympie, rises are likely along the Mary River to Gympie during today, but river levels are expected to remain below the minor flood level. 6 Mile Creek, small rises expected along the creek during today in response to overnight early morning rainfall. The Mary River downstream from Gympie, river level rises have occurred in the Mary River downstream of Milva, that's MIVA, overnight, along with areas of localised flooding. River level rises at Maryborough, Port Side Alert were close to the minor level on the high tide this morning. Mary River at Maryborough, Port Side Alert is currently 4.95 metres at 8:45 and falling with the tide. The Mary River at Maryborough, and I can remember when I was actually isolated up there in Maryborough, the bridge was cut and the minor flood level expected 5 metres on the high tide during this afternoon. Tanana Creek also occurring, or creek rises, with minor flooding at the Tellington Weir. I can remember when I went swimming there. That's many, many years ago. Severe weather warning for heavy rainfall, damaging winds, northern rivers, mid-north coast, parts of the northern tableland forecast districts. Intense coastal trough bringing heavy rain to parts of eastern New South Wales. And later we'll bring up the warning area. And we appreciate the support in the chat. I will be monitoring, and you can leave questions there, but as mentioned, I am currently on the automated stream, and I will bring the information to you. And this clearly shows what is unfolding on the east coast of Australia, to the north of Brisbane, and this system is expected to slowly track down along the New South Wales coast. As mentioned earlier, we are currently on the automated stream mode, but I will come on and bring the latest information. Activating the live mode is clearly on the table. Severe weather warning, heavy rainfall, damaging winds for the northern rivers, mid-north coast, parts of the northern tableland forecast districts. I showed the area in yellow, which is under the warning. Intense coastal trough, bringing heavy rain to parts of eastern New South Wales. Rainfall is expected to increase along the northern New South Wales coast today as a low pressure trough deepens in the area. I was chatting with somebody online who lives on the central coast of New South Wales, and he's keeping an eye on Invest 91p southwest of the Solomon Islands, and he mentioned about a possible east coast low. So it's this one to my south going to develop into an east coast low. However, longer term, this system is expected to gradually shift southwards, increasing rainfall along central and southern parts of the coast, adjacent ranges during Friday and the weekend. For some areas, intense rainfall rates possible with thunderstorm activity. One thing is that the Bureau is actually changing some of their wording terminology, and for those outside Australia, I know there are a couple in the chat over in the United States, mesoscale lows within the trough. Mesoscale lows within the trough. However, heavy rainfall may lead to flash flooding, riverine, that's a new word in their wording. Flooding possible for parts of the northern rivers, mid-north coast, eastern parts of the northern tablelands forecast district from today. Location of the heaviest falls will be determined by the movement and strength of the coastal trough and by where thunderstorms occur. Heaviest rainfall will be focused about the northern rivers or northern parts of the mid-north coast today, shifting a little south to the mid-north coast during Friday. Damaging wind gusts in excess of 90 kilometres an hour possible for coastal areas between Fossa and Woodeye during Friday. Flood watch has been issued for this event. Locations that could be affected: Lismore, Grafton, Goffs Harbour, Port Macquarie, Tarwee and Dorrigo. On the weekend, there is potential for heavy rainfall along parts of the central and or southern coastal. Repeat that, and or southern coast adjacent ranges as this system shifts its focus southwards. The situation is being monitored closely and warnings will be updated if heavy rainfall for these areas become likely. There's also a hazardous surf warning in place for the Hunter, Sydney, Illawarra, Batemans and Eden coasts. And we have a strong wind warning, Byron and the Goths coast. There are no warnings for Victoria, South Australia, Tasmania, and the Bureau up in the Northern Territory has finalised their flood watch for the Victoria River and the Tanami Desert. This is Force 13's Australia Oceania channel, and on the screen is a live shot of a webcam located at Point Danger overlooking the mouth of the Tweed River on the Queensland New South Wales border. My name is David Tones, and we are keeping a close eye on the local weather scene. We could see thunderstorm activity, and I think we'll be providing extensive coverage over the next few days. If it's not via the live streaming, it'll be via regular video updates. And where does one start? A special welcome to those who are in the chat. And it continues. And looking at the ocean, the waves, probably a few surfboard riders there. And we'll just adjust the screen. And considering that all the activity is from, let's say, the northern New South Wales, heading slowly down along the New South Wales coast, and the Bureau of Meteorology has in place a hazardous surf warning. However, a little bit of fine tuning here. The Joint Typhoon Warning Centre has updated their position, and I'll bring that information as soon as I can. The centre has tagged the tropical low off the northwest WA coast as Tropical Cyclone 14S. Now, the Joint Typhoon Warning Centre is part of the United States Navy. They're based over there in Honolulu, and they mainly focus on providing a service to the US fleet. However, we also have Tropical Cyclone Francisco over there in the southwest Indian Ocean. And I'll try and bring up the information from the Joint Typhoon Warning Centre. And I'm just going to do a bit of switching again. And we should have it shortly. An apology for the background noise. My wife is watching a TV, and this is the track provided by the Joint Typhoon Warning Centre. They have it, as I mentioned, Tropical Cyclone 14S. And what are they saying? Well, they have it About 106 nautical miles west-northwest of Broome, tracking west at 9 knots. This is over the last 6 hours. Improving convective organisation. A recent agency VOAC satellite intensity estimates at T2.5 from PGTW APRF indicate that the cyclone has formed during the past 6 hours. The current position is based on recent microwave data, including a sensor imagery, radar imagery, surface observations and satellite position fixes. And as mentioned, the cyclone is tracking westward along the periphery of a deep layered ridge situated over Western Australia. The system is expected to follow the flow associated with the Stirling Ridge throughout the forecast period, initially west-southwest over the next 24 hours and poleward thereafter. Passage over very warm water, 29 to 30 Celsius, strong upper level outflow, low vertical wind shear 5 to 10 knots will support steady intensification in the near term. Additional intensification above the current forecast is possible if a period of rapid intensification occurs. By the 48-hour mark, land interaction and a less favourable vertical wind shear pattern should bring an end to the intensification phase. Slowly dissipation over land, and by 96 hours will follow numerical model guidance is in good overall agreement, although the UK Met, the UK Ensemble trackers depict a tighter turn and landfall near or over Port Hedland. The current forecast track lies with the majority grouping to the west and near the multi-model consensus, which has been consistent over the past several runs. Despite minor model disagreement, there's high confidence in the current Joint Typhoon Warning Centre's track. Maximum significant wave height is 12 feet. So that is the information from the Joint Typhoon Warning Centre. And shortly I will bring up other information, and in the meantime we listen to some tracks from the Force 13's musical collection. Bureau Meteorology Victoria has issued a top priority severe thunderstorm warning for heavy rainfall for parts of the central, east Gippsland, north central, north east, west, south Gippsland forecast districts. So Victoria's in part under a severe thunderstorm warning, and I will bring up the chart. And this is the area under the warning. Severe thunderstorms likely to produce heavy rainfall that may lead to flash flooding in the warning area over the next several hours. Locations which may be affected: Kennington, Ballarat, Daylesford, Bright, Force Creek, Omeo. And the Bureau update at 18:10 hours. Now, what does one say about this picture? Himawari 8, the rainbow imagery, Australia's western region, and something that has caught my eye, and that is the western region further out in the Indian Ocean. And due to the local weather scene, I haven't had a chance to check out other information. And I'm just checking out some information, so we'll continue to listen to some of the music. Bureau Meteorology has a weak low pressure system (1,008 millibars) located 10 south, 093 east. And that is probably to the west of the Cocos Keeling Islands and east of Jakarta. And near a stationary. Within 180 nautical miles of low 1, which is the developing a tropical low, to which the Joint Typhoon Warning Centre has upgraded to cyclone status under their own criteria. That is completely different to what the Bureau of Meteorology has. Clockwise winds 15 to 25 knots, increasing 20 to 33 knots within 90 nautical miles of tropical low 1. That is the northwest WA one. And whilst I'm looking at this information, we'll have a look and see what the Bureau is saying via their tropical cyclone three-day outlook. And my timing is good. Bureau Meteorology has upgraded their position on the Coral Sea. Monsoon trough extends from Cape York Peninsula to the northern Coral Sea. A weak tropical low lies along the trough south of the Solomon Islands, near the eastern border of the Coral Sea region. Area of responsibility near the 160 degrees east. This is now a developing item. The tropical low is expected to remain slow moving near the 160 degree east as the environmental conditions improve over the weekend. The potential for this low to develop into a tropical cyclone near 160 degrees east has been upgraded from very low to low on Sunday. However, the Bureau is indicating that the low is expected to move east of that location and into the Fiji's area of responsibility from Monday onwards, where its potential for development into a tropical cyclone goes from low to high. The potential for development of any remaining low in the Coral Sea region from early next week is assessed as very low at this stage. Oh, I love the Bureau sometimes when it comes to their wording. So, invest 91p. Expected to drift over the 160 degree mark into Fiji's area responsibility. But the modelling is another area that we'll be closely monitoring. So repeating, the tropical low is expected to remain slow moving and the environmental conditions improve over the weekend. Now, what's happening in the Gulf of Carpentaria? Now they a little bit later in updating due to the time, and whilst there are no significant tropical lows in the region, and here's another key item, a weak tropical low is expected to form in the Gulf of Carpentaria during the next couple of days. This is the information that they put out yesterday afternoon. It's normally about half an hour after the Cold C1 is updated. However, the weak tropical low not expected to develop into a tropical cyclone in the next 3 days.